Hey, welcome to the Daily Beard for April 18th, 2019, and Hellboy. So, today I saw Hellboy with Jack. Jack is the man I work with. Jack is not his name, but, you know, that's the name I'm going to call him every time. So me and Jack went and saw Hellboy. It was funny. We went to a 1 o'clock screening. Hellboy hasn't done too well in the theater so far. Went to a 1 o'clock screening. I usually take them on Fridays, but tomorrow I'm off because it's Good Friday. And so they had a 1 o'clock screening today, so I took them. It was for mums and tots, kind of. It was for kids, like for parents to take their young babies to. And I'm like, really, Hellboy? So yeah, it's an R-rated film that like, you know, you wouldn't think a lot of moms would want to see, but no, there was one mom, but her husband was with her. They were on a date, but they brought their kid, little baby. Didn't hear the baby once, so that was cool. And one other guy. So there was me and Jack, and then this couple with their baby, and one guy who sat in the dead center of the theater. And yeah, we watched Hellboy. And let me tell you, Hellboy is not as terrible as people are saying it is. It's not great. It's borders on being good. Although some of the things just don't make enough sense in it. And some of the things are just way too bland. The CGI, there's a lot of CGI. I mean, a lot of CGI. And most of it feels very light. And by that, I mean, like, the objects don't feel like they have a lot of permanence. They don't feel like real things that Hellboy's fighting. Quite often, they feel like CGI. And you can get away with that if you're doing excellent CGI, like, you know, Gandalf versus the Balrog, Lord of the Rings style. That works. But if you're doing lower budget, which this was only like a $50 million budget movie, which is a lot of money, but still not a lot for CGI, you get what you get with Hellboy, and that's wispy CGI. And there's really weird CGI when, like, there's this girl who can talk to dead people, and like they come out of her mouth, and like it's really weird, and it looks I don't know if it was supposed to look like that or if it's just they ran out of money, but it doesn't look right. But saying that, this is not a bad film. Like, it's not a great film. It's not a terrible film. There were moments. David Arbor, the guy who plays Hellboy, hats off to him. He did as good a job as you can possibly do without being Ron Perlman. And I actually read the comic before I watched the movies, so I'm a fan of Hellboy comics. I've loved them for a long time. So he did justice to the character. I don't think they did justice to the character of his father. Not that Ian. I can't remember his name now. The guy playing his father, I don't know, Ian McShane, I think. Great actor. I don't think he's cast right at this. He's got way too much flair and style to be a button-down professor. John Hurt pulled that off perfectly. So he's just too suave. But it just doesn't. It feels very predictable, and like I said, the fights were for most part very unmemorable, and yeah, but overall it's not a bad movie. I don't know what to say. Again, David Arbor, hats off to you, man. I know he prepared really hard for the role, and he jacked up and stuff, but it's not your fault. I don't like, there's so many questions about the world that you're like, does everyone know about Hellboy? Because like they kept it secret in the other ones, and like, but this one, it's like he's walking out in public, like, for the most part. It's not trying to hide him at all. So it asks a whole lot of questions and doesn't give any answers, but it's still not bad. And I had a good time. Jack had a great time. He loved it. He likes violent movies where people die. So this was right up his alley. And overall, I'd give it a solid 2.5 out of 5 beards. That's what I beard things. I don't star things because I got beard. So yeah, 2.5 beards out of 5. I could watch it again, but I don't need to own it. And my daughters don't want to see it, and I told them, like, they don't really have to. It's like it's not a must-see movie, but it's not a bad movie. It's if that's your kind of thing, if you like CGI monsters with some language and violence and blood, check it out. Jack enjoyed it. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. God bless. And stay bearded, because this is a movie review, so tough luck. Just stay bearded. But only for this. Thanks.